Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this edition of the Weekend Wrap Up. I'm David Thomas. This is Mr. Josh Blevins.
Good
Josh,
morning, David.
how are things this morning?
Things are good. Things are good. I've already been to the monthly VFW breakfast. It's the second Saturday of the month, so went and got my eggs and what I have. I had eggs, sausage, and I had the hash brown casserole, like their hash brown casserole.
Okay.
So,
and then you went and got, what is this again?
Went Southern Cup.
Frappe, latte, or whatever.
Southern Cup. Yeah, frappe, latte. Yeah, that's exactly what I get every time. That's what I ask for.
What's it called?
Yeah, creme brulee.
Creme
breve.
brulee.
Yes,
Okay,
creme
yeah.
brulee breve.
Yeah.
Yes, and then just wanted to. I did tell somebody I would announce the next month at the VFW, which is always second Saturday. Second Saturday, they are having as part of their breakfast a rubber duck race. They're
In the river?
In the river, rubber duck race in the river. You can adopt a duck for $20, and they're going to all take off in the river behind the VFW post at 9 a.m.
And where are we going to? The dam?
No, they're not going that far. It just says they're going 100 meters. It says.
What do you want to bet that there's a rubber duck goes over that dam sometime within a
maybe,
couple days
maybe
afterwards?
A duck may escape, but if your duck gets first place, you get $500. So, and if you get last place, there's also a prize for last place.
Yeah.
The slowest duck gets $100. So,
And what propels these ducks, Josh?
the river. Yeah.
Okay.
They're floating down the river.
They're just floating.
They're
I'm
floating
telling
down
you,
the
there's
river.
going to be a duck go over the dam.
Yeah, well, the last duck gets $100, first duck gets $500, and it's obviously a fundraiser for the VFW supporting our veterans. So that is, again, second Saturday. So let me see what Saturday that is. Let me get the date. It is September 12th. September 12th, 9 o'clock at the VFW. Go down and have your breakfast, and then go down to the river, watch your duck race. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
So.
Should be an exciting event.
Oh, it should be
Action
exciting.
packed.
I bet it.
Somebody's
will
going
be
to get
action.
wet. Somebody will get wet.
Somebody will. Definitely the ducks will, if nobody else. So.
Somebody will fall in the river. I'll make that prediction.
Well, let's hope nobody gets injured in the duck race.
Yeah.
But go down and support the VFW next month, Saturday morning. So
All right, Josh, I want to thank everybody out there that tuned in on election night here.
yeah,
We had massive views.
good numbers. Yeah, I watched the. Obviously, I was listening to part of it in my earpiece. I was typing numbers in my little spreadsheet, but I checked the stats after. It looked like you varied. It said between like 440 average up to like 640 people watching at any given
I pulled
time.
up the
So,
restream, and at one point there we had 640.
Yeah.
On that one given time, and then total views we had on Facebook 25,500, I think.
A lot. Yeah.
So a lot of people were coming and going back and forth and
Yeah.
all that. That's how that works. But we want to thank everybody for tuning in. We had a motley crew in here.
You had a crazy band of misfits, is what you had. Great guys, but
We had a big time.
So,
And they all signed my cap
they signed your cap,
by accident. I didn't
Yeah.
want to sign the cap signed, but Sam Davis signed the cap,
And
and
then
then everybody
everybody
else
signed.
did. So
Yeah.
I got a cap that's signed,
autographed by the election
autographed
crew, I
by the
guess.
election crew.
So
yeah.
yeah, it was a good election. We'll definitely talk about it later on.
We'll
this
auction
morning.
this
So,
off one day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear from our sponsors before we dive into what else happened this week. A lot has happened.
A lot has happened. Actually,
Yeah.
really two main events we'll talk about today, but we'll talk for a few minutes. I'm sure we'll chase some rabbits. So
No ducks. We're
no
not going
ducks.
to chase
We're not
ducks.
chasing
All
ducks
right.
today.
Well, let's hear from our sponsors: Cutting Edge Optical, the Dream Team,
Yep.
Coldwell Banker, the Arnolds, and who else we got?
Dennis Young,
Dennis
I believe.
Young Insurance. Yes.
Longtime sponsor, been sponsoring for about the last 85
Forever.
years.
Yeah,
I
about
think.
it.
So,
Yeah. Let's hear from them. We'll be right back.
For clear vision and trusted care, choose Cutting Edge Optical. We offer comprehensive eye exams powered by 20/20 exams, expert contact lens fittings, and a wide selection of quality frames to match your style and budget. Need glasses fast? We even offer same-day eyeglasses to keep you seeing clearly without the wait. Our experienced team is committed to personalized service and helping you see your best every day. Visit Cutting Edge Optical at 1114 North Main Street in Shelbyville, or call 931-488-5778 to schedule your appointment today.
Get the results you want with the personalized service you deserve at Dennis Young Insurance Agency.
As a local independent agency, we offer coverage from several different companies, including Erie. So whether it's auto, home, life, personal, or business, we can find the right coverage to meet your unique insurance needs. And with a rate lock advantage, your rates won't go up as long as you do not change drivers, autos, or addresses. Contact us at Dennis Young Insurance Agency. insuring Shelbyville and surrounding areas since 1988.
When you're ready to buy or sell in Middle Tennessee, you want someone who knows this community inside and out. Meet Diane and Madison Arnold, Shelbyville's trusted real estate team with decades of local experience and award-winning results. Whether it's finding your dream home, pricing your property to sell, or navigating every step of the transaction with confidence, they're with you from start to finish. As part of Coldwell Banker Southern Realty, they pair hometown expertise with powerful market tools to help you move with confidence. Call Diane and Madison today and experience the personal service and local knowledge that makes all the difference.
All righty, welcome back into the weekend wrap up. Josh, I want to come on out and say it, man. You were a rock star Thursday night. Everybody appreciated your work up there. The entire community has texted me and said, "Tell Josh Blevins that was awesome."
Well, thanks. I'm glad it all worked. Glad the spreadsheet and everything worked. We were able to get the numbers out, and congratulations to all the winners. And we will get into the election in a minute. I know that's probably what people will be tuning in for today, but I did want to cover. There was, prior to the election, we did actually have one government meeting this week.
A government meeting.
Tuesday evening, City Council that I sit on, we met for a study session. And we did have a couple items I just want to bring up, keep people informed on what's going on in this big city of Shelbyville. We had public comment. Two veterans got up and spoke. They'd actually contacted me ahead of the meeting and asked how to go about this. And I'm still not completely sure how we're going to go about this, but this is what they want. They have asked to rename West Holland Street to Vietnam Veterans Way. So the original request came in. They were asking to do Lane Parkway, and there's a lot of businesses and stuff on there, and that would affect addressing depending on how it was done. So they talked to somebody else in the city and came back and said, "Hey, how if we do West Holland Street?" So hopefully we will take some steps to see if we can possibly make that happen for them. So I think that's a good idea. So honestly, was a little surprised we didn't have a Veterans Parkway or Veterans Way or anything here in town. So I know every
city does.
A lot of cities do. We did not have one. So
that and Martin Luther King Boulevard and Elvis Presley Boulevard.
Yeah,
those are the three.
There's a few of those. So yeah, so we'll definitely be working on that city, and hopefully we'll have some information on that in the next month or two. We got a request, which we had already approved this in the budget. It just wasn't listed as such. So we got to vote on this one more time. But we are having Walking in a Winter Wonderland. We've talked about that. That's coming to Cooper Steel Arena and the Celebration Grounds starting the week of Thanksgiving, I believe. Yep. Going for a little over a month there. And the city, I believe, will vote on this, but we'll be probably sponsoring at the top sponsor level, $25,000 sponsorship for that. And that is going to be hopefully the biggest Christmas event we've ever seen here in the city.
Oh,
so
I don't think there's any question
by far.
Yeah.
So there's an ice skating rink. There's a walk-through light display. There's Santa Claus.
But the skating rink itself is going to put everything on the map, Josh.
The skating rink is huge. Actually, I saw a post from one of the local electric companies. They had to run a special electricity where they're going to run these coolers to actually put the ice skating rink.
And the people doing this are the same ones that do the arena in Nashville for our professional hockey team.
Yeah, this is the real deal.
Yeah, it's not fake ice.
Yeah, they're not messing around here. So this is a lot going on. They're going to do the outdoor covered space there behind the arena there. They're going to do Champions Arena there. I think it's open maybe on the weekend, stuff in there. I think I saw First Community Bank sponsored a big part of that this week or last week. Just a lot.
The barns are going to be decorated.
The barns are going to be decorated. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a Christmas wonderland. So that's probably has something to do with the name. So
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. We also got a request for a $30,000 sponsorship, and this is for a new tourism website, I guess, for the moment, Walking Horse Country. You may have seen there have been yard signs popped up around town. I hear it's on some of the digital billboards.
There's some billboards.
Yes. I've not seen one
yet.
The
new billboard over here on the left on Madison Street as you're heading out, about next to the Mexican restaurant there where the old Golden Corral used to be.
Yeah,
I saw it up there yesterday, and it's a nice presentation.
Yeah, so nice billboard. I did ask some questions on that. They presented us. I said I just want to explain why I did. They sent us ahead of time. We get a packet, obviously, as City Council, a couple days ahead of time.
Right.
And it had a bunch of numbers in it as far as kind of a return on investment, since we were putting $30,000 into it. And some of the math just wasn't mathing on my calculator. So I did ask a few questions, because they had some stuff on there about that they were going to generate, 23,000 to 46,000 room nights of hotel guests. And I looked at my my handy dandy stats that I had for the city.
Handy dandy.
And we had 291 hotel rooms in the whole city. So it didn't seem like some of those numbers were going to add up. But overall, I think it could be a good thing. So the celebration unquestionably is our biggest tourism event here locally. I mean, this is the event that brings people.
The last economic study that was done, I think, was in 2005. And that economic study for the area showed, now that was a different time period too. I mean,
Right.
It was rocking when this happened.
That was back when
yeah,
it was,
yeah. And it brings millions and millions of dollars. I mean, I don't remember. I'm not going to say how many, but it was getting up there close to $100 million in this area. And for Bedford County alone, I want to say it was $60-70 million in retail and just revenue. Okay.
Right. Stuff
Now
that
that filters down to tax revenue as well.
eventually, yeah.
And hotel, motel tax and all that.
Yeah.
But we need a new study done based on today's numbers. I think it's a huge, huge impact for those 2 to 3 weeks, and then year round as well. So
Right. Yeah. And that's what they had tried to give to us. I just felt like I read through the numbers and knew some of the real stats, and they hadn't quite gotten there with I don't think they dug quite deep enough. So hopefully they can get us a little better numbers on that.
Well, I
But
think
it's definitely generating a bunch
yeah,
of-
I think the old numbers,
Yeah.
they take that and try to factor that into today's money, but you
Right.
can't, because back then we had standing room only
Yeah.
in the place on 2 or 3 nights there. But
Yeah, so-
it's definitely the flagship tourist event.
It
for-
is, and
for-
it's back on the upswing. It was obviously going downward trajectory as far as attendance, but those numbers are going back up again in the last few
Yeah.
years, I think, from what I've
Well,
heard.
and
So,
I'll say this, Josh, this is something that's just not unique to Shelbyville's with the celebration. It's all horse events. I'm in that business and I see it firsthand. The lack of participation in youth over the last few years have taken the numbers down on all equestrian events.
right.
So it's not just the celebration.
It's all
Yeah,
of them.
yeah, and it's all of them. It's hopefully trying to fight its way back, and
Yeah.
this year it looks like the numbers are up, so that's a
Are
good
up
sign.
again.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's headed in the right direction. The city received a request. We actually received this a few months ago, and we're going to discuss it again from Shelbyville Power. They want to close the portion of South Main Street that's right in front of their building. They're looking to do an expansion out there. And I think eventually that'll happen. They need to reconfigure some of the roads there before that happens.
Yeah.
I think that we need to have another way to get traffic through. There's another request we're looking at to join the National League of Cities. I don't know a whole lot about the National League of Cities other than what they put in our paperwork. It looks like it's kind of a lobbying organization that has conferences and stuff. So I think it wasn't super expensive. So I'm thinking we're probably going to be joining. There were also several rezoning requests. We get these every month, and we're doing some changes to the zoning ordinance. We're continuing to try to improve our open space requirements, increase our standards on zoning so that, as we know, we've got nonstop, development, new construction, new stuff coming into the city. And if we don't set our requirements where they need to be, we're going to get the lowest common denominator. It's going to get built to whatever we allow. So
Right.
as we continue to allow things that aren't good, we're going to continue to get things that aren't good. So we're looking to keep improving on that. We made one attempt at the open space about a year ago. We've gotten another year's worth of data after that. It still isn't going in the direction we want it to. So we're gonna hopefully increase some of that as well. So, and then last but not least, we will be in this. A lot of this has been going on behind the scenes, but this is now on some public agendas. So this is now common knowledge. The city has been considering the U.S. Bank building on the square. So
Considering
it's
it for what?
considering it for purchase.
For purchase.
Yeah, for
Okay.
purchase. It is, as I think everybody knows, it is owned by what is Shelbyville Grand LLC, which is one of the LLCs owned by Keith Weaver, and we've talked extensively that there's obviously been a lot of things going on in their world and financial crisis, we'll say. So it appears that that building will be available to be bought. There's been some back and forth, some talk. It needs a lot of work. It previously, I believe the county had their offices in the basement of that building at one point.
Yep.
There's a bank on the second floor that takes up about half of the second floor, and there are offices in the top floor. They did walk us through it about a week ago. The top floor is uncomfortably warm in the summer.
Uncomfortably warm.
Uncomfortably warm. It needs new air conditioning. The roof leaks. The basement floor just needs to be gutted and reconfigured. The middle floor needs a lot of work. So it needs a lot of work. However, it is a 24,000 square foot, appears to be mainly structurally sound building sitting right on the square in the middle of the city. So to rebuild it, they told us could cost up to, a building of that size in that location could cost up to $12 million to build a building of that size. So in the current construction market. So if the price was right and the terms were right, it might be a good deal for the city.
Okay,
So,
I think every city council member, mayor, and anybody involved, there was a movie back in the 80s called The Money Pit. Everybody, they must be required to watch that movie before you make any decisions going forward. That's all I'm saying.
yeah. So I don't know. My apart from the fact that the building needs a lot of work, my personally and my bigger concern is we set out a set of what our priorities were for the city twice now since I've been in city council. And both times it appears that our biggest need as far as real estate and buildings are our police and fire department. They're both sitting in buildings that are undersized, that they've been in too long. Building
Man, our officers are sitting in jail.
Our officers' offices are literally used to be jail cells. They're sitting in former holding cells.
Concrete block walls.
Yes,
I've been back in there. It's not pretty.
It's not good. So it's hard to, and the reason they're looking at the U.S. Bank building is because it happens to be an opportunity that's sitting there right now and is easy to grab. Maybe
got a pretty chandelier too.
The chandelier is neither here nor there for me, but
I know.
But I think probably our police and fire situation is a lot higher of a priority.
Josh, I think you are correct.
So that's just my personal opinion. I don't know. They'll continue to present us information. We've not had to vote on anything yet, so we'll see what direction it goes.
Yeah.
So, but that it could be coming up at the next council meeting this coming week. So, and that is what we covered at the study session. We'll get to in the upcoming week. We will vote on a lot of these issues this coming Thursday. But before we go there, let's go to the Thursday that just happened. There may have been an election here in town. So
I believe there was.
I believe the polls opened 9 a.m., closed at 7. I only visited one polling place just to kind of get a feel for it. I went to mine, District 2, which was at the Ag Center. All of the candidates for District 2 were there. So,
well, I went to Flat Creek because I actually vote on election day, Josh. I think there's something sacred about that. So
I did not. I early voted.
I know. And that's good. You were prepared. You went ahead. You got it done early.
Yes,
I went to Flat Creek at about 9:15, and the parking lot was full.
Yeah.
They were already busy. A family member of mine, I won't say her name, she went at about 6 o'clock that afternoon to go in late, hoping not to get, and it was parking lot. You couldn't get a parking place.
Okay.
And I know the numbers on Flat Creek. You're going to get to
We'll get to Flat Creek. Flat Creek was
unreal.
our top. Yeah, was our top polling place. So yeah.
What does that tell us? I don't know if it tells us anything other than everybody's excited to vote.
Yeah, certain pockets of the county were excited. I guess we can go ahead and get into some of that. We had talked last week. We had what was it, 60, how many people early voted? 60, 50,
5,600?
Yeah, 5,600. So we were trying to guesstimate, and I guesstimated, we hope to hit 10,000. If we were super engaged, we would have gone to 12.
I wanted 12.
Yeah, we would have gone to 12. We didn't even hit the 10 number. We hit exactly right at to within 0.12%, 30% showed up. So we were
so
9,417.
Let's talk about this minute. I know 30%, you say, or 32%?
No, 30 exactly. 30.12.
Okay, we are excited about that number. I look at that and I see 70% did not vote.
Did not vote. And this is about less than half of the turnout for a presidential election.
Okay,
so it still was not a great number.
All right, so 70% of the people in Bedford County did not vote.
Right.
So that means 70% of the people in Bedford County that are registered voters can't complain now, right?
They're still going to complain, but they didn't vote.
Didn't vote. All
They
right.
did not
Well,
vote,
see,
so.
we get excited about that 9,400. And it's great that many people turned out because that is unusual. You know, it's higher.
It's higher by quite a bit than the last county election.
But that's
but
just
not good overall. No, it's
No.
still a pretty bad number.
Yeah,
So, two individual precincts. Yeah, there were two that stood out. Flat Creek, which was yours, they had 41%. So they were the only one that was 10% or more to the better than the overall turnout. So Flat
Yeah.
Creek was clearly the people in Flat Creek. They had something they wanted to vote for. I'm guessing probably a mix of the sheriff's race
Oh, yeah.
and their particular county commission race was fairly contested. So
Yes.
so they had a big turnout. On the flip side, east side in the city, I guess either they didn't know or they didn't care there was an election going on. They had 18% turnout.
Here's the thing, Josh. This is something that I've talked to you about, and I've said this many times before. There are so many people that reside in the city, and they think they can't participate in a county election, even though they're sitting smack dab in the middle of Bedford
They're
County.
still in. 100% of the
I've
people that live in Shelbyville live in Bedford County.
I've asked some people
Yeah.
during this, have you voted yet? For what? We got an election. Oh, that's the county election. No, it's not. Yes, it is.
you
But
live in
it's
the
like
county.
not just for the county. It's
Right.
you live smack dab in the middle. You actually live in the county seat.
Right.
But there's this barrier put up in some people's brains. And I think we've done a bad job of educating people to understand that you have a county commissioner. Your
Right.
county mayor is your mayor if you live in the city. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And I don't know why people get confused, but it's just
And if you're concerned about your taxes, the majority of your
county.
property taxes are
You
paid
had
to
to
the
get that
county,
in,
not to
didn't
the
you?
city. Well, I just
no,
to point that out,
yeah.
your two county commissioners actually have more impact on
Right.
how much taxes you pay every year than your
Than the
city
city.
council.
But they're
person
going to be
does.
looking
Yeah.
at you, Josh, if they're living in the city because you're a city council person.
Right. Yeah.
You mean old guy went up on my property tax.
Yeah.
But
that's-
it's. I think we've got to do a better job, and I don't know how we do it. I think both our local governments need to get some sort of education system in place. And I'm not saying you have a class, but at least publicize. Hey, in the city of Shelbyville, you
You've
are
got
allowed
county
to vote.
commissioners.
You have
Yeah.
county
You've
commissioners.
got
Your
county
county
commissioners.
mayor means something, So anyway, off
Yeah.
my soapbox, but that's
Yeah.
frustrating.
No, it's true. So that was, and it played out that way. Yeah. East side. Yeah. 18%. That was by far the worst precinct. And a lot of the other city ones though were below that 30%
Right.
average. They were in the
Right.
low 20s, 20,
Right.
25%. So, what happened? You guys covered it good on Thursday night. We'll just hit the high points. We got a new mayor. We knew we were getting one. Congratulations to Kirk Cobb. We got a new sheriff. We knew we were getting one. Congratulations to Nakia Elliott. We got 9 new commissioners. We weren't sure how many of those we were getting. 3, we had 3 that had been in the commission for a while that will not be coming back. We had Commissioner Linda Yockey, Commissioner Bill Anderson, and Commissioner Adam Thomas. They all 3 lost as incumbents. The other 6 that won't be coming back, we knew ahead of time they weren't because they did not run for re-election. That was Commissioner Drew Hooker, Greg Vick, Tony Smith, Troy Thompson, Janice Brothers, and Scott Johnson. None of them ran for election other than Troy had run in the mayor's race. None of them will
Right.
be coming back. So we've got exactly 50% turnover on the county commission, new mayor, new sheriff, and a new property assessor. Shout out to Emily Hodges, who was
Yes.
at the VFW breakfast this morning. So
All right.
one of the very few that after not to pick on the other politicians locally, but it's funny how after the election the numbers always go down at the breakfast. So there was
It's kind of the way it is.
it's kind of the way it is. But shout out to Emily, she was there, and I'll go ahead and shout out to John Sweeney was there.
He
as
was
well.
there too,
So
yep.
he came as well. So and there may have been others there before 8:00. I didn't get up early this morning, so I wasn't there at 7 when they opened. So
Yeah.
there could have been some there earlier, but in the county commission, the first thing that they are going to have to do that is probably going to set the tone, this will set the tone for at least the next year or two, and it probably will set the tone for the next 4 years, is they will, very first month in, they're going to pick their standing committees. So as that debate, discussion, event goes on, that will kind of give you a feel for, if there's going to be any tension or non-tension, or things are going to go smooth. That's going to be the one to watch. If you're way too deep into politics like I get, will be the finance committee. So
absolutely, it's going to be.
None of the 4 sitting members of the finance committee were reelected, so you're going to have 4 new finance committee members. I don't get a say in who goes on the finance committee. Nobody's going to ask my opinion. Nobody's going to say anything. But I'm going to go ahead and because I'm sitting here, I'll go ahead and say who I think would be a good fit there, and we'll see what happens. But you've got 2 of the incumbents that clearly have had a good eye on finance and have been at most of those meetings, and that would be Commissioners John Boutwell and Diane Neely. I think those would be 2 that would have a strong case to be on there, just because of their engagement, and both of them have a good financial background.
Yes.
So, and then I don't think it would be bad to put a couple of the newer commissioners on there. And I'm going to say probably and I'm just throwing a couple names out there, I would think they might look, I think, get a young guy in there. You got Alex Mitchell's young and he's in the business world. And I think Michael Gregory has also shown that he's got a good eye on the finance side of things. And he actually, if people don't know his background, he is a department head in the Rutherford County. So it would not be bad to have somebody that has some actual knowledge of departments and department budgets to sit on our finance committee.
And if you hadn't figured this out about Michael, he's black and white.
Yeah,
that's the accounting side.
Yeah.
Of the equation. There should be no gray areas in budgets. So he's black and white as far as it's either this or it's that.
Yeah,
and I think that is some logic that we have to get in play when we're talking about county and city or any government finances.
Right.
It needs to be black and white, and he's your guy there.
Yeah. So I'll reiterate, I have no say in who gets on that committee, and in all likelihood, none of those 4 will make it. Now that I've said that those would be good ideas, but I think all 4 of those would be excellent choices for that committee. We'll see how that shakes out. The commission will have to make that decision, I believe, at their September meeting when they first.
I want to do a shout out here. Somebody was talking about only half of our screen is showing. We have 2 different YouTube formats. One is for mobile, which is vertical, and one is horizontal, which is for laptops, or if you want to turn your phone sideways. If you are seeing only half of us right now, somebody made the mention in chat, just go and log back on to YouTube and you will see a vertical and a horizontal edition. So that's probably what's going on there, because we're horizontal here.
I don't know. So they're probably better off only seeing half of us anyway.
Probably so.
Yeah, probably a good thing.
Probably good.
Yeah, probably a good thing. Outside of local races, there was a state primary. Just want to point out that at State of Tennessee, we will have a choice in November between Marsha Blackburn and Jerry Green will be your two major party candidates for governor. There will be some independents, I'm sure, on there. And then for our new House District 9, which we're sitting in right now, it was Brent Taylor and Justin Pearson running for that. So we will see how that shakes out. Of those 4 major candidates for the 2 big races that are contested, I will say that 3 out of those 4 have been to Shelbyville campaigning already. The only one I've not seen, and I may have missed her, but I've go to a lot of events, was Marsha Blackburn. Actually, I saw Jerry Green here at an event at the park. I saw Justin Pearson at an event at the park, and I saw Brent Taylor 2 different places here in town. So they are at least getting here. Yeah. Most of them, even though those are bigger races, not just local. And then last but not least, in election news, believe it or not, we just had an election. And
I know.
We're heading into another one.
Here we go again.
Heading into another one. Qualifying deadline for the city elections is August 20th at noon. Those will be in November. I didn't write down election day. I can't remember when that is. You can look that up. It's sometime first week in November. Normandy, Shelbyville, and Wartrace will all have offices up. I'm not going to run through all of them, but I think people would be interested at least in the big city of Shelbyville, which we're sitting in here. We will be electing a mayor, possibly the same mayor, possibly a new mayor, as we sit here on a Saturday morning. There are 3 people that have pulled paperwork to run for mayor of Shelbyville. That would be current Mayor Randy Carroll, currently City Councilman Henry Feldhaus, and Cooking with a Veteran Dave Rogers. So we've got 3 people that have put their name in the hat. Not all of them have turned their paperwork back in, so we won't know until after August 20th. But those are the 3 that have pulled there. City Council, Ward 2. Incumbent Marilyn Ewing is running again, and then I'm going to mispronounce her name. I apologize. Sean, is it Ruff?
Rough.
It might be Ruff. If I mispronounce your name, I apologize. But she's also running in Ward 2. Probably. She's not turned in her paperwork, but she has pulled. So she's at least gone partway down the path. We'll know that August 20th. Ward 4, you have incumbent William Christie definitely running. And then a Kevin Cochran and Brad Whitaker have both pulled papers in Ward 4. And last but not least, and this is a little bit of news, even to me, I had missed this. I went in yesterday and got an update and asked if anything had changed. And they said no and handed me this new piece of paper. So I didn't even look at it. And lo and behold, there's a name on here that hadn't been here. So I apologize to my friend Jay Graham, who I saw at breakfast and told me there was somebody else running in Ward 6. And I said, no, there's not, Jay. I was wrong, Jay. I'm not perfect. I apologize. There are 2 people in Ward 6 currently that have pulled papers. You've got incumbent Bobby Turnbow, and then Drew Hayes has pulled paperwork in Ward 6. So
And he has run before. So,
he's run before. He's not turned his back in either, but he did pull paperwork this week.
Josh,
So,
I hope this election, the city election, doesn't get like the county election got.
I would be hopeful that there is less drama. We didn't seem to. I'm trying to remember, because obviously I was all up in it 2 years ago, and it didn't feel like
get
we
like
had
that.
as
No,
much
no.
stuff in the city one last time. So I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll get crazy too, but I'm hoping not.
Well,
So,
I think you look back on that, the city employees get involved in the discussion. And we had a lot of county employees get involved in the discussion. They were passionate about certain things. And it's a different, the county government's huge. So it obviously, and the city has got a large size of employees as well. But from the last time, it was a very clean race.
it
I
felt
think
like
that-
it compared to, there's, and I know you pinned it on maybe employees. I think it, just from what I saw, it was a lot of Facebook drama as much.
Well,
as
yeah, that's where it
anything.
was.
So, yeah,
It was.
It was a lot of Facebook drama.
It was
So,
Facebook
it was a
drama,
lot of
and
Facebook
there was a
drama.
lot of county employees involved in that drama, and it's just because it affects them, it affects all of us. Everybody was passionate about it, and when you're typing on a keyboard, it's a lot easier to type than it is to go sit down with somebody and have a cup of coffee with them. It's a little bit easier to say some things you wouldn't normally say, and I think some things got taken out of context as well. So it's just a lot of fuel got thrown on the fire, and it's
There's a lot of
over.
hoopla.
Yeah,
The
a lot of hoopla is it. That's the best way.
election is
Yeah.
over, and the hope at this point is that, I mean, we're all neighbors. We all got to live together. We
Yep.
got to work together. You're going to run into somebody at Kroger or Walmart or Piggly Wiggly or wherever. You're not going to agree with everybody on everything, but you can still be neighborly. You can still treat other people like you want to be treated. I think that's the golden rule I hear. So
That's
Yeah.
Maybe, and I
So-
think the golden rule is it kind of got put on hold for a little bit there.
Yeah.
So I think it's back in play.
yeah. So hopefully we get back there pretty quick. So with that, I think honestly that's enough to cover. We don't need to over talk
Yeah.
the election. You guys talked about it for 2 hours Thursday night. So let's hear from.
There was a lot of other nonsense being talked about too.
yeah, there was a lot of
So
talking. So,
All
but
right.
let's hear from another set of sponsors, and then we
Yeah.
could come back and
We're
talk
gonna hear
about what's
from,
coming up next week.
First Bank,
Yep.
Kincaid Service Company, and Piggly Wiggly.
The
Let's hear
pig.
from them.
Yeah.
Let's hear from them. We'll be right back.
Shop local at Shelbyville Piggly Wiggly, down home, down the street. From farm fresh produce and hand-cut meats to pantry staples, dairy, frozen favorites, and household essentials, we've got your list covered at hometown prices. Don't miss our weekly ad and truckload meat sales. Open 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Visit 874 Union Street, Shelbyville, or call 931-684-1363. Follow us on Facebook for the latest specials. Shop local. Save big at the Pig.
At Kincaid Service Company, we've proudly served Middle Tennessee since 1934. Families across the region trust us for quality furniture, appliances, electronics, and the kind of service only a hometown business can provide. From living room sets and dining collections to washers, dryers, refrigerators, and the latest in home entertainment, Kincaid has everything you need to make your house a home. And when it comes to a great night's sleep, our showroom features leading brands of mattresses, offering comfort and quality you can count on. We don't just sell products, we stand behind them. When you buy your appliances or electronics from Kincaid, our expert service team is here to keep them running for years to come. It's the kind of care that sets us apart. For value, selection, and service you can trust, visit Kincaid Service Company today, locally owned and community strong.
On game day, winning is everything. But life's big wins happen off the field. When you win a heart. When you win their trust. When you win their respect. First Bank's community banking is perfect for life's big wins because of what we're big on. You. Make us part of your team for life's biggest wins.
All righty, welcome back in here to the weekend wrap up. Josh, what's happening next week?
Next week in government meetings, Monday morning, bright and early, actually not that early, I think we start 9. City has their pre-planning meeting. This is the meeting before the Planning Commission meeting where the department heads of the departments that work in new developments get together and meet with a developer and go over what's coming to the city. Light agenda, from what I'm told. I think only 3 or 4 new things maybe. So I think the market has kind of dictated and led to a little bit of a slowdown right now. Maybe the mortgage rates, maybe the overall economy, whatever's happened. Things are not where they were in the city probably a year ago.
I talked to a real estate guy that I know pretty well a couple of weeks ago, and he said it's just been dead.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of, he said it's just a pause. He thinks it's going to start back, but he said right now it's just dead. It has been for the last 6 to 8 months, what he told me. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we're at, and it's reflected in the number of applications we're getting. So Tuesday evening, County Commission is meeting. I believe their only big item I can remember on their agenda was, and I think we had talked about this last week, they had passed through the Rules Committee the data center moratorium to send it to the commission. The initial discussion was, and this plays out if you go on the county website, they initially were going to not put it on this month's agenda. They were going to wait and have the new commission vote on it.
Yeah.
There's been so much public clamor, we'll call it, on data centers that they went ahead and changed what was happening. And if you look, they've made an adjustment and they are going to vote on the data center moratoriums at Tuesday evening's meeting. So that's coming up there. Thursday evening, we'll meet as a city council meeting. And that will be all those items I just talked about earlier on the study session, the sponsorship request, the rezonings, maybe the U.S. Bank building, maybe not. We don't know yet. Several other things, but that'll be happening Thursday evening. And then at the same time as the city council meeting up the hill, they haven't met in a few months. The County Wastewater Advisory Committee will be meeting. That's the one that's been looking at new standards for step systems if they were going to set them in the county. That group has been done for quite a while, and I think they've put together a set of standards, and they're going to have that discussion Thursday evening up at the historic courthouse. So that will be happening Thursday evening, and that is all the government that's happening in the.
I want to have a conversation with you, Josh, just for a second. Back to the AI centers,
data centers.
But people call them AI centers.
Yeah.
Because everybody associates the data centers with AI. And yes, I'm sure AI has to have that storage capacity. They're going to feed off that. That's where data is put. Okay. Data centers where data is stored. And I've heard of some massive data centers. The one in Utah that Kevin O'Leary is building is supposedly 67 square miles.
That seems big.
That's huge.
That's big.
Okay. I want to look that up. I've looked it up twice, and it's like, okay, this is valid based on it's a series of buildings, I think is what it is.
I was going to say, if that was one building, how do you get around? It'd be a long walk across the building.
All right. So I've been asked this. I'm a proponent of utilizing AI if it's available to you to help you with tasks, because it's obviously, it's like supercharging any type of computation that you can do. It's supercharging.
It has a lot of good uses. Yes.
Okay. And I've been asked, well, if you are for AI, you can't be for data centers. Wait a minute. No, the other way around. You got to be for data centers.
Yeah.
Okay. here's my thought on data centers. And this came up the other night when we were testing, or the other afternoon when we were testing your spreadsheet on here. You were at the election center, okay?
Yeah.
And we were dealing with just digits, just a spreadsheet.
Right.
Okay. And you made the statement, boy, this doesn't take as much bandwidth, or it doesn't take as much of a signal to transmit these numbers compared to other things. Okay, let's talk about the data that's required to have an enormous amount of data space, storage space, and it's video, audio files, video files, that type thing. All right, the amount of audio and video that is stored from the internet or wherever it's coming from, flock cameras maybe,
wherever
it's required to, it's going to eat up a ton of space. Okay.
Yes.
I think that's the heavy load that's put onto the data centers are those large data files like that, and the processing of them. I am not totally against data centers. I think if we're going to use that tool, if that's where we're headed, we're going to have them. I just don't think they're suitable in every possible location you can find. I think they're certain. What are your thoughts on data centers, the way they fit into our environment?
Yeah, they need to be zoned correctly. You need to make sure wherever you put them, if you allow them, that you have the utility infrastructure, that it doesn't negatively impact the other customers on the utility. So unless you have excess capacity of electricity, excess capacity of, if it uses water, there's noise issues with them. You've got to make sure that they're not near somebody's house where they're going to be listening to some 65 decibel hum 24 hours a day and driving themselves crazy. So there's things that have to be looked at, but if they're appropriately located and don't have a negative impact, I don't know that they're that much of a burden on anybody. But all of those things have to be taken into account. The ones you've seen that have drawn a lot of, there's that big one in outside of Memphis,
yes.
I know, and I think just where it ended up getting located, where I think it's impacting. You got to worry about the impact on the neighbors. So if you can do it somewhere that doesn't impact anybody, doesn't drive power rates up, doesn't drive water rates up, then you might be able to get away with something.
I think we're going to see some innovation come when it comes to data centers too. You're talking about underwater data centers for cooling reasons in the ocean. You've heard of in space.
You've heard about them going into orbit.
All this stuff. So. I think as the need continues to rise, there's going to be innovation that comes along that will reduce the footprint of these things too.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. But somebody asked me that question: how can you be a proponent of using AI and be against data centers? I'm not against data centers. I mean, I think you got to have a balance there in your thoughts. But anyway, I was just curious as to what you thought. And I know everybody out there was just wondering,
I don't know if they were or not, but that's it. All right. Quick announcement. Josh is taking a little bit of a break. We will not be back next week. I'm not announcing a return date, but I need a little bit of a vacation. So Josh is taking a little bit of time.
Did the election wear you out?
We've been here back to back for a lot of weeks, David, without a break. So I'm taking a little time off, but we will be back in plenty of time before anything big happens. And I'm not like disappearing or anything. I'll be at all the meetings. And if there's something that needs to be posted, I will post an article about it. So
the conversation show has got a lot of schedules coming
you've got a lot of people coming.
We've got a lot of people coming on. Some newly elected folks will be coming on to sit down and talk. And we will always have those going on, and we might just fill in the weekend wrap-up show with those if necessary. But thanks for watching, and again, thanks for tuning in at on the election returns on Thursday night. Josh, have a good couple of weeks off there.
Yes,
catch your breath, prop your feet up, go to the beach or something, man.
I wouldn't mind going to the beach. I don't think I'm gonna make it to the beach though.
All right, well, I might sneak off. Thanks everybody.